Hello. I'm starting this a little bit earlier than I normally would. We typically let the song finish, but I just wanted to real quickly warn you guys before we switch over to the angler. I'm trying Streamlabs again. Hopefully it's not going to lag the stream like it did last time. I did a recording and the recording wasn't laggy, so I think it's fixed. I think it should be good, but if you guys start getting lag, then we know that it's not fixed. So let's see. Hopefully it'll be working out okay. If it would even pick up the angler. There we go. There we go. Let's see. Let's hope it's good. My little test recording went smoothly, so I think it's okay now. Hey, Graham, I'm doing good. Hey, Johnny, Tiger, Frantic, Noah, Cantor, Blake, Joshua, Crayfish. Joshua, thank you so much for the 10 months, dude. Really appreciate it. All right, guys, does it look smooth? Does everything look smooth? It looks like it's holding up. Seems like the bitrate is not fluctuating. I think whatever was happening is fixed. Let me know if you guys see any problems. Is it lagging at all? Looks good? Oh, beautiful. Beautiful. That's awesome. Glad it's finally working properly. That was such a confusing thing to have it only working on regular OBS. All right, let's do some lake trout fishing. That's one thing we haven't really been able to do much because the lake trout are actually very difficult. The lake trout and the catfish and then the sauger seem to be pretty difficult to catch. That's one thing I've noticed. Like, they are so much more difficult to catch than any other fish. Okay, awesome, guys. That's awesome to hear. Are you doing an all-day stream? Not necessarily all day, but way longer than normal. Gonna be quite a bit longer than we normally would do. Yeah, let's buy the biggest spinner. Maybe go for a big crankbait as well.
Crankbaits are easily some of the top producing lures for any fish that are hungry for small.
Trying to think of stuff that's gonna be good for lake trout. Longer than 8 hours? Probably not longer than 8 hours. 8 would be the max, most likely. And yeah, I know how to catch the lake trout. I've caught them before. It's just they're harder to catch than other species, is what I was saying. I've caught quite a few of them, though. But I want to see if there's ways to catch them even more consistently. Now let's toss in this big crankbait. Get rid of that. And the big spinner. There we go. I'm doing good, Cantor. I've been doing pretty good. I didn't end up getting my editing done last night, so since we hit 65K, I decided we would do the 65K celebration today to make up for the fact that I didn't get the video finished in time. Hopefully you can find him, Landon. Hopefully you can end up finding him again. Everything's still looking smooth, guys? I'm assuming it is, because the bitrate still looks consistent. I still can't believe you got that super rare, Johnny. Like, and it's actually an even one. I can never get the even super rares. For red deer, at least. Like, none of my legendary rares have been even at all. 65K, 6.5 hour stream. You know, I like that. I like that, Crayfish. That's what we'll do. 6.5 hour stream. Have I grabbed this? Yeah, I did. Okay. Later date, Mitchell. They actually don't even know when yet. But I'm sure once they know, we'll know. Yeah, Dab, it's pretty fun. It's definitely got a lot of places where it needs some work, but it's a pretty fun experience. Thank you, Civ. I appreciate that, man. All right, so let's go. Where would we find some lake trout? I've fished for them over here, but I want to kind of fish a different area. So I'm thinking maybe like right in the middle of this little section. If not, we can always go back over there and go to where I've caught them before. Let's try it right here for the lake trout. Thank you, Beast. Let's see. Oh, wrong one. I think we need setup number 5. There we go. There's our lake trout setup. Got a big swim bait on there at the moment, which actually has worked pretty well. But I want to try the big spinner. I don't know what the depth is right here, so we're going to have to check that out. 10 meters? I mean, that might be deep enough. There is controller support, yes. Hey, Yasu, she's doing pretty good. She's been doing very well. Thank you, Pyro. I appreciate that. Nobody knows, Wild. They have not talked about what platforms it's going to be on. Oh, no, that's fine, Debbie. That's completely fine. Maybe, Ruska, we'll have to see. I don't think we'll quite get there, but I could definitely see us getting to 75k at least. And that was my goal. My goal for the end of the year was 75k, and I think we can easily make that. Thank you, Graham. Mr. Wild, I already answered your question. I said, we don't know. They have not said what platforms. Once I know, then you guys will know as well. Yes, you can play online multiplayer in the Angler. You guys think 100k? I mean, maybe. I mean, if we have some big updates for Way of the Hunter and Call of the Wild, then maybe. Hey, FLM, how's it going, man? Looking like the Lakers are not going to be biting right now. At least not here. You know, let's just go to the spot where I've caught them before so I know. Wait, was that a catfish? That was a catfish. Wait a second. That was a couple big catfish. Hold up. Let's chuck this swim bait on. I'm curious if we can get a catfish to bite this swim bait. Because if I'm being honest, catfish will hit pretty much anything in real life, but in the game, doesn't seem like they hit everything. I've caught them on minnows, and that's about it. Pretty sure somebody caught one on a lure, though. So I'm hoping I can catch them on this swim bait. That's interesting, Tiger. Haven't heard of that, at least. Any of them, Landon. Any of them, if you break a rule, you're gonna get warned for it. Unless it's, like, something terrible, then you'll just get outright banned, but... in most cases, you'll get a warning. You know, the best way to, like, not get a warning, though, is to just not break any rules. Read the rules and follow them. Nice, Jeremy. What do you mean, Pyro? The game is like $29.99 if I'm not mistaken. I believe it's a $30 title. What do you guys think the catfish will want? I mean, I'm probably not going to say what would TN because that would encourage people to do it. So I'm not going to say that. Okay, so the crankbaits actually do work like real crankbaits. It is floating and then it gets down further the more you reel it in, which is realistic. I was curious how that was going to work because I noticed the poppers sink, which isn't exactly normal. But the crankbaits seem to work like they do in real life. That's good to see. Now the question is, can we get anything to bite this? I mean, a lake trout, I would imagine, would bite a crankbait. They would in real life. Alright, later, Jeremy. Thanks for dropping by, dude. Yeah, me too, Ben. I have yet to see anybody get a giant lake trout. But I am curious what they're like. I really feel like crankbaits might be a good way to get them, though, because it's one of the few lures that stays super deep. And the lake trout in this game are super deep in the water. I have Tian. It's a good game, but it was never really for me. The amount of time you had to dedicate towards leveling up and also just towards making enough money to pay for the trip you took and the licensing and stuff like that. It was just never my type of fishing game, as I move around a lot, like from location to location, and Fishing Planet, you're almost punished for wanting to move locations a lot, so it just never appealed to me. Let's see if we can get a lake trout out here. This is where I was catching quite a few of them the other day, so we shall have to see. To be honest, the method you use doesn't really affect it too much, Mitchell. Constant, jigging, twitching, they all seem to have the exact same amount of attraction. I hope they change that at some point, because, you know, some fish should want specific retrieval methods more than others, and right now they kind of all just go for the same thing, which is basically everything. So hopefully that'll get adjusted at some point. Because yeah, you gotta remember, Dylan, not every place has a bass the same size. And in general, Call of the Wild's games are kind of on the, I guess, higher end of everything. I mean, look at the Hunter Call of the Wild. Pretty much nothing is realistically sized in that game. Most everything is on the very high end of what they can be. It's the same in the Angler. So in relation to like how big a bass can get in real life, a 5-pound would be a silver, because they can reach 20 pounds if you're lucky. Big ones, you know, often being over 10 pounds. And a diamond in this game is like 11 pounds, so. Yeah, Mitchell. I'm not really gonna just follow what other people do. I kind of tend to find my own locations that are good. It's fun, Aiden, but it does need a decent bit of work. They need to spend some time focusing on perfecting the animations of the fish and the behaviors of the fish, but it's got a good base. That's the way I see the game right now. It has a really good foundation, and it could be something incredible in a couple of years. And from the time that I've talked to them, they are very, very set on community feedback and wanting it to be... No, I didn't, Pyro. I didn't. Johnny said that he misclicked the message, and it wasn't on timeout. You should have been able to type immediately. I'm guessing you just missed Johnny's message. Oh, it was Johnny? Yeah, I can't see what it is on PC. Like, YouTube is still broken with that. Alright, let's try this again. This is what I was catching them on the other day. That's what we're doing, at least. That is what we're doing. That's what I've been saying we're doing. Yeah, me too, Johnny. It'd be nice if they would do that. I imagine at some point, Panda, they'll probably implement stuff like that. The game's still pretty early on in its lifespan, so I imagine we'll get quite a bit of different things over the years. Oh, it definitely does, Corey. And I have no doubt that the developers will tweak things kind of the way that we want them. Throughout early access, I've been talking to them, and they seem very set on making a great fishing game, and are very willing to take criticism on certain aspects that need work. So that's awesome to see. I'm glad that they are 100% open to tweaking things based on community feedback. Like, I've talked to quite a few dev teams in like the hunting and fishing genre. Way of the Hunters devs, the Hunter Call of the Wilds, Classics, Call of the Wild, the Anglers, and the Anglers devs seem to be like the most on top of things I've ever seen. Like, they seem super set on perfecting the game to be the best fishing game, which is awesome to see. And only time will tell as to whether or not the game will actually become like the greatest fishing game ever made, but it's got a good start. Just needs some work in certain areas. Primarily the fish movement and reactions to things. The behaviors of the fish. Other than that, though, it's pretty fun. I love the big open world. Yeah, I think so, Trash Panda. I think at some point it will. We're not playing Call of the Wild today, AJ. It says it in the stream title if you didn't look. Let's see. Come on. Something bite. We might need to switch it up again. I was using a slightly smaller swim bait when I ended up catching the lake trout earlier. I don't have a smaller swim bait on me at the moment. Maybe if we use a size 2 spinner? Might need to go slightly further out as well. Let's try over here. Yeah, true. I am playing Call of the Wild right now, technically. Technically, we are playing Call of the Wild at the moment. It's just the other Call of the Wild. Oh no, AJ, that's not good. That's not good at all. No diamonds yet, Mitchell. Can you spook the fish with the boat? Only if you get super close to them. From what I've seen, it's only if you drive like right on top of them. And that'll definitely need some tweaking at some point. I wish that would make a difference, Zach, but sadly from what I've seen here in the angler, it really doesn't affect them. Pretty much if you drag a lure in front of them, they'll bite it. So I think there's just no fish in the area, or I'm using a lure they don't like. How deep's the lake? I don't know what the max depth is, but I've seen it go clear up to like 22 or 23 meters. Which is definitely very deep. Nice, Isaac, that's crazy. No, Levi, I've not got one yet. I'm hoping we can get one today because I imagine they're pretty massive. Which Call of the Wild's easier to get diamonds? Definitely the Hunter Call of the Wild. I have only caught a few diamonds in the Angler. Thank you, Liam. I appreciate that, dude. Thank you so much. I'm going to assume there's no fish going for it. Anytime that I've had a lake trout bite, it's been relatively quick. Let's go back and change some of our tackle out. I think we just need a different selection of lures. Well, the game is kind of focused on catch and release, Chris, so they didn't do a trophy lodge. However, there's definitely options they could do to implement a trophy lodge at some point, since you technically don't even need to keep the fish in order to tax it in real life, so maybe they'll do something like that at some point. There, we'll get a bunch of different swim baits. Maybe get a little lighter line. It could be the line that's throwing them off. It's so hard to say, though. We'll try this out, though. I mean, true, Snarly, but I think just in general, diamonds are easier in the Hunter. I can jump into multiplayer and find a diamond within a couple hours. Here in the Angler, like, it takes me maybe 10 hours to find a diamond. Probably even longer because you can't just, like, spot all of the animals. Like, with the fish, it's kind of hard. Now, there's definitely some that are easier. Like, I have noticed golden trout are a little bit easier because you can see them in those clear lakes. But something like a lake trout, that's going to be so hard to get a diamond of. Hey, Caitlin, how's it going? Hope you've been doing good. Good luck, Nordic. Hopefully you get some giants, dude. When does this come out for the public? It'll be the 31st for PC, and then we're not sure about console. They unfortunately don't have a release date for console as of now. And we don't even know what consoles it's going to be on. Yes, Analdo, that is a bug. Maybe if we head over here? I feel like we may have caught some over here previously. We'll try this right here. No clue, Snarly, no clue. Hopefully soon, though. Hopefully soon. What's my favorite fish to catch? Right now, I think my favorite is probably the rainbow trout. But I did like the pike fishing as well. They don't have bottom rods as of now, but it's a possible future addition. Yeah, probably, Johnny. Definitely a lot of bugs and stuff they need to work out for the current update in Way of the Hunter. Oh yeah, Johnny, maybe one of these days we'll do another Bigfoot stream. Those were quite a bit of fun. Unfortunate the lack of fish we're catching so far. But this is what I was saying when, like, it's more difficult to get lake trout than it is some of the others. They are much harder to find. It's the same with the catfish as well. And I kind of like that there's a couple fish that are super difficult since some of them are incredibly easy, like the trout. Now that I think about it, stop and go might be the way to go here because otherwise I can't keep the lure deep enough. Probably not, Pyro. It's just, not my thing. Yeah, nothing. What option do we got now? Trying to think. What would give us the best chance? Now, the last time I caught quite a few of them, we were directly across from that rock over there. I just don't remember, like, how close to the bank we were. I know we were across from the rock, though. Maybe, like, right over here? In fact, I think this is the spot. We're just gonna hope. What's my combo IRL? IRL I use the, what's it called? It's the, Lunker's favorite fishing rod. I forgot the name of it. we don't get a bite here, I'll be very surprised, using stop and go from the beginning. I see a largemouth to our right. Yeah, by the favorite fishing company. And then the reel, I can't remember which one it is, but it's I think it's around the same like range as the rod is, like same price range. I can't remember the name of it though. Yeah, nothing biting. Maybe we'll try constant retrieve on a 1x? You've already been told by the mods to stop asking, so no, I'm not going to answer the question when you're blatantly disregarding what the moderators are telling you. Nothing yet, deer killer. No diamonds as of now. No fish even. We're trying to get lake trout, but they are so elusive. These dudes just do not want to be caught. Thank you, Army. I appreciate that, dude. Hopefully you've been doing well. Oh, there we go. Finally. There we go. Finally hooked into a nice lake trout. My gosh, it took a long enough. It took quite a long time to hook into one of these. Okay, I got a question here. Look at this. Do you guys see the reel? It's actually reeling in the proper speed for like the amount of line I'm reeling in. Why don't the spinning reels do that? I'm so curious about that. Like, there we go. Big old lake trout, 16 pounder. That's actually just a silver, but you know, it's our first one of the day, so I'll take it. But I just noticed that the bait casting reels, they actually do reel in the proper speed. But with the spinning reels, you're always reeling in super fast, even if you're barely moving any line. It's interesting. It makes me wonder if the spinning reel is bugged and it's just showing the wrong reel speed. Because the casting reels work fine. They work the way they're intended to. Look at that big old lake trout. No, I don't think so, Angelico, because all of the spinning reels do it, regardless of the ratio on them. Yeah, exactly, Johnny. Like, the spinning reels, they don't seem to be working right. At least, like, the animations for them. The animations don't seem to be working properly. Hey, AAW, how's it going? Welcome back. I think we were just doing a constant after we were using stop and go. What was that? We did like stop and go on a 2-speed for a while. And then we switched over to just constant reeling on a 1-speed. Let's just do that again. Oh, there we go. Another one. Now we're finally finding them. We went so long without seeing a single fish at all. And now we're hooking into lake trouts back to back. That is awesome. You know, honestly, I'm happy that the lake trout are difficult. Because a lot of the fish do seem like it's very easy to catch them. But the lake trout, I've had a lot of trouble even finding them, and then finding a lot of them in one area is even harder. There we go. It's another silver, only a 12-pounder. I don't think they have, Ormy. They haven't pushed out any updates, so I'm assuming they haven't changed the camera at all. I hope they do at some point, though. And honestly, I think that once they iron out some of the big complaints that a lot of people have, I think the game will end up being a pretty good game. I still, like, have the opinion that this game could be something incredible, but it needs a lot of refinement around the fish animations, how attracted the fish are to specific lures. Right now, a lot of the fish seem to have the exact same attraction rate to every single... Or, not every single lure, but every single fish seems to have the same attraction rate to the same lures. So, like, all lake trout seem to like the swim bait number 2. And it doesn't matter which lake trout it is, they all seem to be attracted to it. Same with, like, rainbow trout. If you find a lure they like, every single one of those rainbow trout will bite it. And I do think that each individual fish should have a preference in lure. And also lure size, retrieval style, but right now it seems like you just cast, reel in, pass them, and they'll bite it. So that's the biggest thing that I think needs work. That and the fish animations are my 2 biggest complaints. A lot of people want the camera adjusted, and yeah, I definitely think the camera could use some adjustments to where it doesn't follow the rod, and instead, like, maybe use right-click to move the rod up and down. Yeah, exactly, Ormy, and I think that was the big downfall of the Angler, was the fact that they did market it as a realistic fishing experience, when in reality it's much similar to the Hunter Call of the Wild, where it's a more arcade-style experience with a lot faster-paced action. But after talking to the team behind the Angler, like, they do want the game to be a realistic simulation, and they're 100% willing to change things based on community feedback. If a lot of people give them similar feedback, then they're totally open to adjusting things, which is awesome. I'm really happy that they are. It's been a pleasure talking to them. It always makes me happy to see a team eager to adjust things based on feedback from the community. And so it made me pretty happy to see that they're willing to do that. How many different fishing styles are in the game? Right now, just spin fishing and bait casting and then bobber fishing. But in the future, we'll probably get some more. Hey, there she is. Mrs. Crow has entered the building. Y'all better behave. Y'all better behave while Mrs. Crow's around. Yeah, I was confused there for a second, Beast. I was like, wait, he's? I see that the autocorrect has got you. Yeah, trolling would be awesome. I would love to see that. Honestly, I think that could be implemented fairly easy. I could totally see that becoming a thing. One of the big requests that I have too is a trolling motor. I'd love to have a trolling motor. Because there's many situations where, like, I'd love to move the boat while I'm fighting a fish. Oh, there we go, speaking of fish. Ooh. There we go. Hooked into a big one. Oh my gosh, we finally have a big fish on, guys. Finally got a lake trout that's putting up a big fight. Oh my gosh. Oh, we've got a couple lake trout, Jake. We got another big one on, it feels like. This is definitely the biggest one of the day. Come on, buddy. Get in here. Watch it not even be a lake trout. Watch it be like a pike or something. Man, this is a big one. This is a really good fish. This will, at least at the minimum, be probably our biggest lake trout. Maybe if we're lucky, it'll be a diamond. I'm thinking more along the lines of a big gold, though. Jeez. Yeah, this guy's a tank. This guy's a tank. A great one bluegill? Yeah, it's definitely a great one bluegill. Believe it or not, I still haven't caught a bluegill. I don't know where to find them. Maybe I just haven't looked good enough, but I've yet to see a bluegill. Come on, here we go. Hey, oh, that is a big lake trout. Wow. It's just a silver. It's just a silver, guys. That's only a 19-pounder. Oh my. We got a lot of work ahead of us if we want to get a diamond one then. You know, I was really curious. What purpose the super heavy rods had in the game, as like for most of the fish in the game, the heavy rods will just reel them in like it's nothing, which I do think it needs to be changed to where some of the smaller fish don't go for thicker lines to kind of balance that out. But that was 22-pound braid right there with a relatively heavy rod, and that took us a while, and that's only a silver. Gosh, imagine what it's gonna be like for a big gold or a diamond. That's gonna take so long. Let's see if we'll get one to bite with a heavier line. I don't even know, beast. Yeah, the big ones will definitely be like 40 to 50 pounds, probably. Can you break the rod, or is it always the line? From what I've seen, it's only the line that breaks. But it's hard to say what they'll do in the future. No clue, Barry. It's definitely gonna be big regardless, like crayfish. Like, I could totally see a diamond just absolutely wrecking our tackle. Yeah, it could be, Zach. It's hard to say. I'm gonna say at least 50 for a diamond. We'll have to see, though. I'm just happy we finally found some lake trout. Even if it is just a bunch of silvers, they're still fun to fight. We're not sure, Justin. They have not announced what consoles it will be on. Alright, let's go ahead and recast out. The last one we hooked was over here. Let's go over in that direction. Is there deep sea fishing? Not on launch, but that's a possible future addition, they've said. I think one thing to note with the angler is that we can kind of know the history of EW games. They tend to add stuff over the years after release, and I imagine this game will probably be similar. So just because we don't have sea fishing right now doesn't mean that we won't ever get it. I feel like it's definitely something that will eventually come to the game. The same with like better animations and better fish behaviors and better rod movements and stuff. I'm sure all that will get added and changed over time. And I'm pretty sure eventually we'll get fly fishing too. Like, I couldn't see them going without adding in fly fishing. It's very popular and a highly requested fishing style. The only people I really mod are friends and then people that mod for other streams. Because considering mod has like a relatively high amount of things that you can do, I kind of want it to just be people that I know I can trust. Which is why I have it pretty limited with who can be mod. Thank you, Dasher. Appreciate it. We might need to move around. Seems like they may have stopped biting in this area. Because we had 3 of them pretty quickly back to back to back, and now we've got seemingly nothing left in the area. Let's go ahead and move a little bit. Alright, Pyro, no worries, dude. Let's just remember this spot. I'm actually going to screenshot this so I can remember. Because that's a good spot. We're not streaming Call of the Wild today, Epic Boy. Read the title. It says The Angler and Way of the Hunter. You mean enemies? Definitely, Brober. That's totally what I meant. Totally. Let's see. Well, spot number, what, like 4 or 5? I think we've gone to like 5 different spots. Well, spot number 5. Have a couple lake trout, or will we get nothing like the first few locations? Hey, W, welcome back, man. Welcome back to the Scare Crew, my dude. Appreciate that. Is that a perch right there? I think I see a perch right there. Little perch just hanging out in the middle of the deep part of the lake. Yeah, it is pretty nice, Civ. I'm glad that they did do that. Like, that's the thing for this game for me. There's so many things that are very good with, like, the attention to detail, and then there's also some things that are just lacking. Like, they got a good base for this game. There's a good foundation. If they can just improve the stuff that needs improving, this game could be amazing. Nothing crazy yet, Mason. We got a few silver lake trout, but that's been about it so far. Oh, I'm sure they do, Gus. I mean, the game's not even fully released yet, so I'm sure there will be some things changed. Changed, fixed, you know, all that stuff. I'm sure we'll get lots of changes. One more cast out here. Now, something that's interesting that I saw is one of these lakes. This lake right here says it has lake trout, But I've never seen a lake trout in this lake. Oh, it's definitely not, Justin. It's definitely not. Why would you respond to a hunting game with a fishing game? That's the question I've got for you. Why would you respond to a hunting game with a fishing game? And also, do you really think that it takes a couple months to develop a fishing game? They would have had to have been developing this game for at least a few years. I can assure you it was not in response to Way of the Hunter. Oh, that pike's huge. Oh my gosh, I just saw a massive pike. Hold on, hold on. That was a huge pike. That was a massive pike. What do we want to use? Let's use a topwater bait if we can. We got a 7 popper. Honestly, we can get it to bite a spinner or a crankbait, I bet. That was a huge pike. Oh, that was so cool just seeing him hit the surface like that. That was so cool. Please bite. Come on, man. Bite this crankbait. I don't know if he's gonna bite the crankbait. What else can we try? Man, I really wish I hadn't dropped that popper off. That popper would have been perfect. Let's try a 1/0 spinner. Pike like flashy things. Use the minnow. That's what we were using, though. We were using the swim baits. And they weren't biting it, so I don't know. The method doesn't really matter too much, Ethan. Maybe if I let it sink and then start reeling in. Well, now we know this giant pike is here, so we gotta try and get it. It would feel wrong if we didn't try to get it. Random wheel for the angler, that could be interesting. Trying to think of how we could do random wheel with a fishing game, though. I mean, I guess the way that we could do the random wheel here on the angler is spin for rivers, ponds, or lakes, and then spin for setup number 1, 2, 3, 4, or 5, and then just have to fish that location with that particular setup. That could be kind of cool, I guess. And then when it comes to like lures, I can use any lures, but obviously, depending on the rod and reel setup I get, will definitely affect what lures I can use. Man. I don't know what to do. Well, I mean, we got a popper. It's a small one, but maybe. I don't think we'll be able to get him to bite on a size 7 popper, but gosh, maybe if we're lucky, we can. I don't expect such a small popper to work, but Maybe if we're lucky. Yeah, but I don't know if they're like that in the game, Zach. That's the thing. Like, because this game's not necessarily perfectly true to life, like, I gotta think more about what they'll bite in the game than... Oh, there we go. Is this him? This is definitely not him. I think we just hooked a largemouth. Get in here. It's a... Oh, it is a pike. It's a juvenile, though. That's definitely not the pike we were targeting, I'll tell you that. But it's a pike. At least we know that they want the popper. Man, I think we need to go get the big one. Okay, so the waypoint is 22 yards behind the boat. Good to know. Let's go back. Let's get a bigger popper. Because we got to find a way to get this pike. Yeah, that was a juvenile. The juvenile is basically the equivalent to no metal.
Salutations.
Like in the Hunter Call of the Wild, we have the no metal that is below bronze. In this game, it's that one right there, the juvenile. I think the 4 is what we caught our giant on last time. Just in case, though, we'll grab the other one as well. Hey, D-Star, how's it going, dude? You made it just in time to watch us attempt to get a giant pike. We saw a pike that's got a good chance of being a diamond or a very large gold. I know, right, Zach? What a giant. Imagine if fish grew, that would be crazy. Favorite type of lure IRL? Mostly use spinners and spoons. It's pretty much the same for me. I use spinners a lot. I also like using crappie jigs for trout. Believe it or not, trout love crappie jigs. They absolutely love them. And then I also do occasionally use some like smaller crankbaits for trout as well, and it actually works pretty good. The Rapala original floaters are great for trout in rivers, especially like the silver one. Had really good luck with those sometimes, depending on like the time of year, obviously. All right, let's pull out the size 4 popper. I think this is where we need to cast. Let's wait for this gold to grow, imagine. Oh, he definitely is, Johnny. Rover's the worst with the dad jokes. But that's by design, you know? That's just Brobra. There we go. Fish on. I don't think it's him. No, definitely not. It's another pike, but it's not the one we want. We may have found one of the better pike spots, though. Silver 5-pounder. Let's see. And we're about where we need to be. I might need to be a little further over, though. Yeah, not him, but still a pike. A little better. I think that's more in line with where we were. We're also going to fish from... Ooh, actually, I don't want to be on the back of the boat. I broke off some fish because they've rubbed against the side of the boat, so I'm going to be kind of like right here. It really depends, Bruno. If you want a super realistic fishing experience, I would probably hold off until they've tweaked some things, but if you just want kind of like a fun multiplayer open world fishing game that is a little bit more fast-paced and a little bit easier to catch stuff, then I'd say go for it. Because it is fun if you aren't looking for, like, if you're not, I guess, completely focused on the realism aspect, then it's pretty fun. But if your main goal is to find the most realistic fishing simulation ever, then this one's not there quite yet. It's much more in line with, like, the Hunter Call of the Wild in terms of realism. It's more on the arcade side. Yeah, there is a single-player mode. That's what I'm playing right now, Deer Killer. But yeah, it's a fun game. From what I've seen, the only people that are really disappointed with the way it looks are the people that want a super realistic simulation. I play all kinds of fishing games, so for me, this game's fun. But, if you want something super realistic, it might not be quite as fun. Yeah, Bruno, that's kind of how this game is. Though, one thing I will mention is that the developers are very set on making the game as good as it can be. I've talked to a few of them, and they are all super open to feedback, and they're very open to changing things based on player feedback, so it wouldn't surprise me if they make it more realistic over time. Alright, let's try the big boy popper. 2 odd. Will this be what we need to catch that big guy? Best place on Bear and Way of the Hunter. To be honest, I haven't found too many of them, but the bottom left in Halliwich seems pretty decent. Yeah, me too, Johnny. Difficulties would be nice. Something similar to like how Way of the Hunter has their difficulty set up. When does it release? The 31st on PC, and then for consoles, it's unknown. Hey, Cash, how's it going? Welcome. Welcome to the stream. Yeah, I like Way of the Hunter a lot, D-Star. It's fun. No, Banana, we haven't done it yet. We will at some point, though. We're most likely going to do roughly like 3 hours of The Angler and then 3 hours of Way of the Hunter as well. Mine too, Robin. I think it's such a well-made game. I think for me, when it comes to, like, favorite hunting games of all time, it goes Way of the Hunter Call of the Wild, then after that's probably the Hunter Classic, maybe? And then 4th would be Deer Hunter 4. And then the 5th would be Deer Hunter 2005. That's like my top 5 hunting games of all time. Though I did enjoy quite a bit of the Cabela's games when I was a kid. Where's this big male? I got a feeling that, it's gonna be kind of difficult to get this particular guy to bite. He's so huge compared to the others that I don't want to give up on him, though. Like, he's an absolute tank of a pike. And it'd be a shame to just, like, not get him. We're gonna keep going. We're gonna keep trying for him. See if we can get him in. Oh, wow, deer killer. That's wild, dude. Thank you, Chris. I appreciate that, dude. I have not Osgard. I didn't install it because they were saying that, you would need to back up your save in case it corrupted. And so I'm probably just not even gonna risk it. I've got pretty good at determining an animal's age in Way of the Hunter and also their genetics just by looking at them, so I think we should be okay. Even if we can't see like the proper age because of the bugs. What's the max you can cast with the rod? It depends on the line and lure. I think the farthest I've got my cast to go is roughly like 38 meters. If I am not mistaken. No clue, Justin. They haven't really talked about that type of stuff. Yeah, I don't remember which one that would be, Osgard. Not sure. Oh, there we go. Come on, please be him. Oh, it's definitely not. Look how fast it's coming in. That is definitely not the one we're after. Yeah, this is another little dude. I mean, we're hooking into the pike. It's just not the pike that we want. That is tiny. Hey, little guy. 2-pound bronze. Oh, my. Come on. Let's hook this giant. I want him to surface again. If he surfaces again, then we'll kind of know where he is. That'll make it a little bit easier to figure out where I need to be casting. Because for all I know, he could have moved over a little bit. Barely bronze? Yeah, just barely. Almost didn't make bronze, which is crazy. Yeah, definitely, Lil Bear. Those are a couple things I'd love to see them do. Yeah, I think so too, Brayden. The way I see it right now is it's a fun game, but I do think it'll be much better in a year or two. It definitely needs some polish before it'll be, like, the best fishing game. As it stands, I think Fisher Online is still probably the best fishing game out. At least, for me, that's my favorite. Oh, there we go. But this game has so much potential. I could see it becoming great over the next year or two. And it's still one I'll play because I do have fun with it. Another small pike, man. Another little dude, 6.70 pounds silver. You know, one of these days we'll get that big one. One of these days we'll get that giant. just look around for a bit, see if we can spot it. We're in the evening hours now. I did see one kind of surfacing over there. Maybe that direction will be the way to go. Psycho Death Star, thank you so much for the super chat, dude. Really appreciate the support. Which one do you like best? Call the Wild the Angler, or Way of the Hunter? Ooh. Man, making me pick through 3 good games. Way of the Hunter probably is my favorite out of those. There's just something about Way of the Hunter that is just continuously enjoyable and makes me want to come back. They're all good games, though. I have fun on all of them. But thank you so much for the super chat. The in-game time, from what I understand, it's either based on your real time or it's server-based. One of the two. I'm not sure which one, though, if I'm being honest. I haven't been able to really figure it out. Just basing it off of what I've heard and what I've seen from other creators and stuff like that. Yeah, maybe, Johnny. Definitely could be. Don't know if we're gonna get a bite over there. Yeah, I don't think so. I just want to see some... Oh, did not mean to cast there. I just want to see some movement from that big guy. If we can get him to surface again, that'll make this so much easier. But, like, I can't see him. I can't see him surfacing anymore. We might need to do a game restart to get the time to go back to day. I don't see him. I think we'll restart the game real quick to get it back to daytime. Do you know if the time progresses animals in age? No, it doesn't. So the way it works is it's actually just based on the time that you've played on that reserve. So it only will, the animals will only age when you're actually playing that reserve. And fast forwarding the time will not increase the speed at which they grow. Oh, I haven't even tried it, Johnny. I saw you saying that they ruined it, though. I'll have to fiddle around with it a bit at some point. Whenever we jump on the hunter again. Yeah, I did play Bassmaster Fishing, Ashley. It was really not for me. I feel like unfortunately Dovetail Games kind of just recycles the same game and just puts a new skin over it. I feel like none of the Dovetail games have been any different from their first carp fishing game. It seems like they always just release the same game but with different fish and different lakes. Always feels like they don't improve the mechanics or anything. Let's see. Do we have anything now? Something hit the surface there. Ooh, I can't quite cast it as far as I need to. I need to get back in the boat and move it. Lil Bozo, thank you so much for the super chat. Really appreciate it. At work, but what's up, dude? Just trying to find a really big northern pike that we saw hit the surface. It looked to be a diamond from what I could tell. So right now we're just hoping that we can get it to bite. Really appreciate the super chat though, dude. Thank you so much. All right, this should be the perfect spot to get a cast out into the area that he was sitting. Gotcha, Johnny. Okay, I wonder if that's intended. I don't see why they would have reverted any changes to the 22 Hornet purposely, as it was perfect. I don't see why they would, like, purposely make it worse. If anything, they should have just made the 223 better. Hey, Impact, how's it going, dude? We've been just fishing for some lake trout, and now we're after some pike as we saw an absolute giant surface. And so we're trying to get a reaction out of him, but he's just not cooperating right now. Sadly. Oh, I would love to see a remake of the Hunter Primal. Primal was one of those games that I thought had so much potential. Oh, that's a big bass. Dude, now there's a giant bass there. That's a huge bass right there. Maybe we can get him to bite the popper. He is. Oh, there we go. There we go. This is actually going to be a pretty easy fight, too. We're on our heavy pike setup, so this is almost not even going to feel fair. We're on our heavy setup, so we can just rip this guy in. Not a diamond, but that's a big gold. 7.37. That's a very big gold there. Hey, we leveled up. Nice. Alright, let's do a little bit of spotting around here. See if we can spot that guy. A fish surface back there. There's a lot of action behind us now. We know for a fact there's a couple more fish out there. However, since we're getting all of the surface action over here, I think we'll real quickly flip it around and catch a couple of those. I don't know if it's my favorite yet, Ashley, but it's definitely the one that has the most potential. I'd say my favorite fishing game that I've ever played is the Fisher Online. However, the Angler has such a good foundation that I got a feeling that it will become the best fishing game once they've refined some of the problem points of the game. Once they tweak some stuff, this probably will be the best game out. Just a matter of making the necessary changes. Hey, little dude. I mean, not really a little dude, but 7.51. He feels like a little dude on that big tackle. We got one more right there. Just saw that dude surface. Oh, don't worry, I won't, Hunter Griffin. What game do I prefer to play as of now? Way of the Hunter or the Angler? I mean, I've really been enjoying both. I've been still enjoying the Hunter Call of the Wild as well. I like having variety, so I'll probably be playing all of them. Like, we'll definitely still continue playing the Hunter Call of the Wild. Obviously, we'll be playing Way of the Hunter. And we'll mix the Angler in there as well. And as for like which game we'll be playing more at any given time, I think it's going to depend on what game comes out with updates. Because now we're gonna have like 3 different games to be playing here on the channel, and that's gonna mean there's gonna be lots of new updates between the 3 games, which is awesome. I'm very excited for that. Not yet, Preston, but it's a possibility for the future, they've said. Depending on the feedback they get, they could make it so that's a thing. There's a pike. It's not the big dude, but that's a pike. Moving in the right direction once again. At least getting the right species. Not our giant diamond, though. How many diamonds have I caught so far? I don't know the exact number. But I would say probably around 5 or 6. Let me think real quickly. I think 7. I believe 7 is my current diamond count. There's no way to actually, like, see your exact diamond count in the game, so I just have to guess. And I'd say it's around 7 if I'm counting correctly. We got any more surface action? I so badly just want to see that ginormous pike hit the surface again, so I kind of know where to go. But like ever since that first surfacing from him, he just has not wanted to show himself. Let's try a different strategy. Let's just rip it across the surface and then slow down once we get like halfway in. This has worked before on some fish, so hoping it'll work here. What's the biggest fish in the angler? Currently, the lake trout is. With the lake trout's silvers being almost 20 pounds, I could only imagine what the big golds and the diamonds are going to be for the lake trout. They'll easily surpass 40, maybe even 50 pounds, possibly more, which is pretty cool. It has a little bit, Dylan. It definitely has. They fixed some stuff and then some new stuff showed up. They're currently working on a hotfix, though. So we should have a hotfix for the issues in Way of the Hunter soon. Maybe casting off to the side? At this point, I'm willing to try anything. Oh, it would definitely be fun, Thad. I don't think they'll ever add it, though, considering it's not catch and release. The developers are very big on catch and release, so I don't see bow fishing ever being added. They could definitely add, like, forms of trophy lodges, though, even with catch and release. So hopefully we'll see some type of trophy lodge at some point. Or, like, maybe a trophy aquarium. A lot of people have suggested that. And it does seem like it would be a pretty good idea. Need some alligator guard? Definitely. My gosh, that would be awesome. I honestly can't wait to see what other types of maps they add. Price is $29.99, Shane. Maybe bow fishing just for carp? Yeah, that could work, I guess. Since carp are considered to be like a trash fish. Oh yeah, that'd be really cool, Johnny. Like a kind of like a coastal map where you've got like some coastal lakes, coastal rivers, and then the ocean. That would be awesome. There's a perch below us. It's not the pike though. Kind of of looks like a big perch, though. Maybe we'll flip this in there real quickly and see if we can get him. I think he's going for it. Maybe. I can't actually tell. He's swimming in the direction, but can't tell if he's going for the lure or not. Maybe not, actually. Oh, yeah, he was. There we go. Hey, little dude. Little silver perch. There's a largemouth there. It's just that pike doesn't want to show up. We might end up having to get him another day. I'm curious if the fish on the map are persistent. That's something I still am not familiar with. I don't know if the populations are persistent. I would imagine that they would be. But we don't really know yet. I don't know if that bass is going to go for the spinner. Kind of looks like he is. Maybe. Maybe not. Nah, he's not. Let's swap out to probably a spinner bait. Or maybe one of the smaller poppers even. Yeah, let's go to a size 7 popper for this bass. See if we can get him on it. Yeah, that'd be crazy, and hopefully one of these days they'll add rare fish. I feel like they will. They've mentioned it being a possibility, so hopefully one of these days we will get it. Little bronze bass. Small dude. Still no signs of the giant pike. Did not mean to cast. Whoops. Bring that back in. We saw something surface over here. Couldn't tell how big it was, so maybe if we're lucky it'll be him. Don't have much hopes now, though. This giant pike is being very elusive. Have I caught any sauger yet? No, we have not caught any sauger. That's one of the fish species that's been eluding me. Another decent bass just surfaced over there to the right. I mean, I don't see this being identical to Fishing Planet, as this is a completely open world fishing game with a map about half the size of a map in the Hunter Call the Wild, so that immediately sets it apart. And also, you don't have to pay to travel in this game. Fishing Planet does make you pay to travel, and it also makes you pay to it makes you pay to get the licensing for the area. Here, you don't have to do that. And I think as of now, Fishing Planet obviously is going to have more locations. I mean, the game's like, what, 5, 6, 7 years old? It's obviously going to have more content as it's had tons of updates. I think that's something that, in my experience, not a lot of people realize, is that this game isn't even fully released yet, and Fishing Planet's been out for like, what, 5 years? Obviously, Fishing Planet's gonna have more content. That's just natural, that a game that's been out for years is gonna have more content. There is no walleye on launch, but there is sauger, which are quite similar in a lot of ways. Yeah, exactly, Semi, exactly. Call of the Wild and Way of the Hunter, you know. When Call of the Wild, or when the Hunter Call of the Wild first released, the game had virtually nothing. It had the base rifles, it had 2 maps, no true racks, and obviously way less species, way less rifles, way less bows. The multiplayer was a mess. And then you look at Way of the Hunter, like, it's got a decent bit of stuff, but it's still lacking a lot of things, and eventually that'll get a ton of stuff added. It's the same with the Angler, I imagine. Like, over time, it's gonna get a lot of things added. The way I see it right now is, it's a decent game, but needs a lot of work. And I feel like over time, they will improve it to a point where it's a really good game. I don't want to go up here. I have yet to be to this lake. Me too, Johnny. I do as well. I'm curious why they opted not to do that. The only thing I can think of is that there's so many different fishing locations on the first map that maybe they figured they didn't need a second one. Or maybe it just takes longer to create these maps than it does in the Hunter. It's hard to say. I mean, we'll probably know over time, depending on how long it takes them to add new maps. Oh yeah, like I said, Blitz, it needs some work. I think the game's got a great foundation, and once they tweak things based on the community feedback, I think it'll be a really good game. It's already a fun game, and to me, that's enough to make me play it. If I'm having fun with it, that's really all that matters in a game. If you're having fun, then great. I can have fun with a game even if it's not perfect, you know? But I really do hope they adjust a few things. Primarily in regards to animations. Animations and fish behaviors. Here it is. This is the lake. Oh, that is a sign. That is a sign right there. Well, there is Blitz, but it's dependent on the tackle you're using. I think the problem is, like, even small fish will hit on thick line, and obviously that will mean that you've got a relatively heavy setup as well. Like, you can catch some pretty small sized bass and stuff with the big rods. That right there is the big problem to me. Well, I guess largemouth are a bit of a different story. They'll bite even with thick braid on and thick mono. Like, bass don't tend to care too much, but like a trout should never bite on like 20-pound line. Real life, they'll see that so quick. At least in my experience with fishing for cutthroat trout in rivers, they notice thick lines so quickly. And I think that one change would already improve things quite a bit. Just make it so the smaller fish, like let's say a 5-pound rainbow trout. 5-pound rainbow trout's not going to bite on something with 30-pound line in most cases. And like a giant lure. In most cases, they'll maybe only bite up to like 15-pound line. Consistently. Obviously, there's going to be exceptions. But I think just some minor adjustments like that. Yeah, fluoro is a different story, which is what I use as well. Like, fluorocarbon's great. Love me some fluoro. Alright, let's head over to these reeds over here. The reeds and lily pads. See what we can pull out of this area. Yeah, fish finders would be cool. Oh, this lake does have lake trout? Good, that's awesome to hear. We'll probably go for them in a bit then. I wanted to fish these lilies a little bit, see if we can get anything good out of there. Oh, I have the popper on a different setup. Hold on. Which one is it on currently? Number 2. Which one is this? 11-pound line. Okay, this is the one I wanted on. Just toss that spinner on there. What? It still shows that it's on. No, it's not. What? Oh, it's on this one. No wonder. Toss that swim bait back on. We'll start with the size 4 popper and see how that works. I see a bass already. Believe it's a bass at least. Ooh, that did not cast far at all. Something tells me there's a little bit of a tackle imbalance here. What is imbalanced? Let's try this. Will the 7 cast farther or closer? Farther, okay. Yeah, we're taking on water a little bit. You know, it's nothing. We'll be fine. Hopefully. Alright, later impact. What's my favorite fish to catch? So far, I think the lake trout and the rainbow trout are a couple of my favorites. They're really fun. Yeah, barbecue, that's definitely a good option. You know, one of the best spinners that I've ever used is the like metallic blue-bodied, silver-bladed, well, that's a whitefish. Blue fox lures. Those are whitefish right there, I think. So there actually is not bass here from what I can tell. I think it's just whitefish. In that case, let's go to our other setup here. Size 5 spinner. Just rip it through here, see if we can hook into one of these whitefish. I've only caught one of these, so this will be kind of cool to get another one. Do I like the Panther Martin spinners? Yeah, they're pretty good. I use Blue Fox, Panther Martin, Meps, Rooster Tails. I use them all. They actually might not be interested in that. Hold on. What can we get them to bite on, I wonder? Let's try it, the tiny size 8 spinnerbait. On, for some reason, OBS is still recording, even though I told it to stop recording. Yeah, OBS is bugged. It's just continuously recording. Well, that's fun. That's unfortunate. Oh, it's going for it, I think. Maybe not. Yeah, it is. There we go. There's our first mountain whitefish. First of the day, I should say. I've caught one of them before. Yeah, that's how I see it too, Big Bubba. It's definitely nowhere near perfect on launch, but I definitely think it has some insane potential to be an incredible fishing game. This is the first consistent spot I've found whitefish, so that's kind of cool. Nice, Sunray. Oh, that brings me back to a couple other things for lures that I liked. The salmon fly color rooster tails are so good for cutthroat trout. Like, incredibly good for them. So I've used quite a few of those in the past. Oh, this one's actually got a little bit of fight to it. And then I also like the Obviously, like, the black rooster tails are great. And then the, it's kind of like a metallic black-bodied blue fox spinner with like a chartreuse tip on the blade. That is insane for salmon. I've had quite a few Chinook hit that. The same with the trout for the smaller size ones. The trout love those as well. Cornies, there's no need to repeat, man. There we go. Probably dumb. Most likely it will be coming to Xbox. They haven't announced what platforms it's going to be on. But once we know, I'll probably make a video talking about it. Little bronze again. Interesting. Like, all of the whitefish that are right here are tiny. I think we'll go out to the middle and try to get some lake trout, since you guys were saying that lake trout can be here. Oh, and I just realized I still have Discord open. That's probably not helping with performance. I can't exit? Hold up. My PC having some major issues. There we go. Gosh, yeah, I still can't stop the recording. I don't know what's going on with Streamlabs. This is not normal. The angler just does something to this, to Streamlabs. I don't understand. ETA for new PC? Not sure, Osgard. It says that it'll get... that they'll start building it the 2nd. So 4 days from now. Or 5 days from now. And then I think it's going to take like 3 days for shipping. So it'll still be a bit before I get the new PC. Something I'm curious about. I'm gonna check my video folder real quick. I want to know if it's actually still recording or if it's just showing that. It might just be showing that. It might just be bugged. It is. It's actually not still recording. It's a visual bug, I think. At least as far as I can tell. Yeah. Yeah, it's not even recording anything. That's so weird. That is so strange. Oh well. It is what it is. It still shows that it's recording. It says it's been recording for 53 minutes, but there's not even a file created? That's so odd. The Streamlabs really doesn't like the angler for some reason. Thank you, Cash. I'm glad that you enjoy it, dude. Yeah, new PC, Caitlin. I figure that since my CPU is kind of at the end of its life, and I've been using this same CPU for like 6 or 7 years, it's probably better to upgrade before the entire system just dies. And the problem is, like, I could just upgrade my CPU, right? But I can't get anything higher than an i7 7700K because I'm using a Skylake chipset. Which means I have to get an entire new motherboard if I want to get a new CPU. And at that point, it's probably easier just to get the partial pre-built like I am. I decided to get like a bare bones pre-built from Ironside, which basically just doesn't include the GPU or the hard drives or operating system or anything. That way I can just move my graphics card and all of my drives over. Yeah, it definitely did in Osgard. However, the 3060 Ti is actually it's pretty good right now. Like, the price of the 3060 Ti is down a bit, and it's a good graphics card. That's what I'm using right now. And it runs most games on high to very high settings and still gets good FPS. Oh, I did, Deer Killer. I'm not getting any more. I'm not getting a new graphics card with this pre-build. It comes without the graphics card. Wow, this is like, this lake is so deep. 29 meters at parts. That's insane. Definitely the deepest lake in the game, I'd say. Uh-oh. I probably shouldn't have touched anything. There. Let it drop. Wait, is there a new one, Caitlin? Or are you talking about the old one? Oh, somebody got a diamond lake trout. Obviously, I'm not going to say who it is, in case they haven't posted it, but it looks like diamond lake trout don't even break 40 pounds. It's like 35. All right, then. That's interesting. Very interesting. Oh, the old one. Gotcha, Caitlin. Okay. Yeah, I was wondering which one you were talking about. All right, let's start reeling in. Who? I'm not going to say who, because I don't know if they do YouTube or if they do Twitch. But, yeah, somebody got a diamond lake trout and it was like 35. Oh, nice, Murphy. I sadly have not been lucky enough to, get a diamond lake trout. But we've got our diamond pike, rainbow trout, some, bass and a catfish. Oh, is it not a diamond? Got you, okay. I was gonna say, I feel like I would have seen it if he had got a diamond one. It was 2 golds? Gotcha. Okay. No, Wyatt. If you switch platforms, it will start you from scratch. There's no way to save, like, data in most games if you're switching from one platform to the other. So, no, you won't keep anything if you switch. It's about 31.5. Okay, so that's close to diamond then. Just not quite there. Well, from my experience, Keegan, the method that you use does not really affect the catch rate. Right now, it seems like as long as you're using a lure that they like, every single one of them will go for it regardless of what you're doing with it. As long as it says that you're doing a different method, like, if I'm just letting it drop, they're not going to bite, but if I'm constant reeling, jigging, twitching, stop and go, all those seem to work equally well. 38 meter depth in this area, that is insane. Yeah, you cannot transfer data from one platform to the other because they use separate save files on each system, so it wouldn't be compatible. Let's see how this goes. Let's just do stop and go, see how that works. $29.99, Jackson. Lucky and got 2,500k that can be overclocked to the moon. Nice, Osgard. Nice. I believe the one that I ended up going with for this pre-built is the i7 12700. So it's quite a bit better than my 6700K that I've got right now. Should give me a good performance boost and hopefully make it a little bit easier to stream. Because right now, like, my 6700K is having issues. See some fish right there. Looks like whitefish. See a few whitefish right there. Yeah, Murphy, I used to. No, Johnny, definitely not. Definitely not. That would be... Whoa, my gosh, that'd be a while. That'd be crazy. I saw something under the surface there. Was that a lake trout that was actually not deep in the water? I feel like I've only seen them be super deep. Can they be near the surface as well? Worth a shot? Yeah. There we go. Maybe it was whitefish. It actually looks like a whitefish. There he is. Wow, this lake is just filled with whitefish. Yeah, let's test it though. Let's try a little more of a surface approach with a swim bait. Do you guys know if Flinter was doing any, like, surface fishing or near the surface fishing when he was going for lake trout? Or was he doing the super deep, swim bait fishing like I've been doing? Curious if there's any other ways to catch them, because as of now, all I've caught them on is swim baits when I'm fishing super deep water. I stream every day except Wednesday and Saturday, Cash. He was doing the super deep jigging. Gotcha, okay. So I'm assuming pretty similar to what I was doing. He was using soft plastic jigs. Oh, okay. I haven't messed around with the soft plastics too much. Maybe we'll give those a try. Maybe that's going to be the key lure-wise. Because it definitely seems like, at least for the hard baits, it seems like swim baits are the only thing I've caught them on. And they don't seem to hit them as often as some other fish would hit the lures. I'm curious if maybe that's what we're doing wrong. Maybe we need to go with a decently large jig head here. Maybe we'll buy the 2-aught as well. We'll buy one of these larger ones right here. We'll buy the grub. We'll try a variety of these. I wish the tubes would fit on the larger hooks, but I think these are just crappie tubes. I don't think they have bass tubes in the game yet. Hopefully they'll add some bass tubes eventually, because that's what I have always caught bass on. I've only been bass fishing a few times in real life, because it's kind of hard to find good bass fishing in Oregon. A lot of it's kind of like mediocre, and I mainly fish rivers, but the few times that I have gone out for bass, I always caught them on tubes. If there's no crappie, I know, right? But there is a bluegill, which they'll bite on the same stuff. I forgot the most important thing, putting them in my inventory. Of course I would. Welcome back, Pyro.
You've heard of the catch of the day. What about
Can't believe I forgot it, man.
get you that catch of the day? Too wordy?
Kind of wish there was a way to expand your tackle capacity that you can carry on you. Because it can be a little bit difficult to remember to keep up with everything. Guess we'll toss in some of these larger ones real quick. Soft plastics, get rid of that. Grab that bad boy and that one as well. Get rid of the bread. And toss in that right there. And I think we'll be good. I think we'll be good now. We'll set up the heavy rod for this. Then we'll go with the 33-pound fluorocarbon. Size 1. And let's go with... Let's try the shad to start. And then we can switch it up if it doesn't work. Oh, definitely Osgard. I think that there's... If I'm being honest, I think the boat should have the ability to carry more tackle. Like, if you're in a boat, I feel like you should be able to carry more. Yeah, I know he used the grub. I want to use something else to start out with. See if we can get results on one of these other soft plastics. Let's head out to roughly where we've been fishing for them previously. No, Brendan, it's not on PS4. PlayStation 5, PC, and Xbox Series S and X only. I believe this is roughly where we were. Thank you, Davis. I appreciate that, dude. Thank you so much. Not sure, Elite. They have not announced a release date. Not for Way of the Hunter, Keegan. We're talking Way of the Hunter. We're talking about Way of the Hunter at the moment. Way of the Hunter is not going to be on PlayStation 4. If I'm being honest, Brennan, I don't think PlayStation 4 could handle Way of the Hunter. It's got performance issues on Xbox Series S and X and PlayStation 5 already. PS4 just could not run the game in general, I don't think. And that's probably partially due to the maps being twice the size of the Hunter Call of the Wild. I just don't think it would perform well on older systems. Which I imagine is why they made the decision not to include it on them. You guys were saying jigging, so let's... It's so hard to figure out what the perfect timing is for jigging, though. Like, it switches to twitching so often. Do I need to crank up the reel speed a little bit to get it to work? I guess that's what I needed to do? Don't reel? Really? Yeah, it's not the best design for jigging. Because I have to move the entire mouse up and down. I really wish I could just use the right click, but can't use the right click to lift the rod in this game. Gotcha, deer killer. Okay. How do you get it to not, how do you get it to not go off of the, retrieval type, though? Because half the time it goes away, the other half of the time it says I'm twitching instead. Yeah, definitely, Civ. It's definitely got some, work that needs to be done for the jigging. It's not super user-friendly as of now, for jigging at least. Like, what speed do I even need to jig? How often do I need to reel in the slack? Like, how long do I need to wait before going back down with it? I mean, this is kind of working. And right as I say that, it goes away. I think I need to crank up the reel speed. Slow and steady, but when I go slow and steady, it stops saying that I'm jigging. I'm not talking about in real life perspective, I'm talking about in the game. Like, what do I have to do in the game to get it to stay jigging? It's because it's clear that the game isn't going perfect to real life. So that may be the way that it's done in real life, but is that how you do it in game to keep it from going off of the technique? Yeah, see, like, it goes off to twitching. He just moved the rod up and down, but how far did he cast out? Like, was he in a spot where it was directly below him? Was the line further out? Like, there's a lot of variables that I need to know in order to really effectively do this. The only thing I can think of is getting it to where there's no slack at all, and it's just directly below me. Like this. That's the only thing I can think of to get it to work. Problem is, it doesn't sink far enough. Gotcha, deer killer. Okay, honestly, I'm not gonna do that. It's too janky right now for it to be enjoyable. So I'm probably just gonna use stop and go and see how it works. Hey, RJ, how's it going, dude? Glad you enjoy the videos and the live streams. And we'll be switching over probably in like 45 minutes. Like I said earlier, since I've seen a few people asking about when Way of the Hunter will start, we're going to be doing 3 hours of each game. So once we've hit 3 hours, then we will switch over to Way of the Hunter. Hey, Era, how's it going, dude? Let's just try a constant reel. We'll just have to see how things go. Yeah, I play Fishing Planet. It's really not my type of fishing game, if I'm being honest. I don't like the whole system of having to pay every time you travel and then having to purchase all the different licenses and stuff like that. I always felt in Fishing Planet that anytime I played it, I was forced to fish for the fish that would give me the most money instead of fishing for what I wanted to fish for. And I change my mind quite often on what I want to fish for, so being able to travel to location whenever I want to and not have to pay is pretty big for me in a fishing game, so Fishing Planet never really appealed to me. I like the Fisher Online more than any fishing game. I feel the Fisher Online is the best fishing game out. It's got a good balance of like the progression system, the realistic fish, and the developers actually change the locations and habits of the fish every single week. So I personally feel like Fisher Online is the greatest fishing game out. But I feel like this game's got good potential once they iron out some of the issues. But if you ask me, Fisher Online's the greatest fishing game ever made. They also are constantly adding new free locations. Pretty sure they've added like 2 or 3 maps since the last time I streamed it, which is crazy. No, I didn't, Deer Killer. I didn't have a Nintendo growing up. I had a PlayStation 2, so I played a lot of the PlayStation 2 fishing games. And PlayStation 1 fishing games as well. Definitely the 2 Great One Red Deer in the same zone, Boomstick, because that's like a once in a lifetime situation there. Sure, a 270 scoring super rare would be crazy, but there would just be something so incredible about seeing 2 Great Ones in one zone that would just, my gosh, that would be incredible. Oh, no worries, Deer Killer. Yeah, I played a lot of the PlayStation 1 and PlayStation 2 fishing games growing up. Some of my favorite was the Real Fishing series. Real Fishing 2 on the PlayStation 1 is one of the best fishing games I've ever played. It was so much fun, there was so much variety, the fish actually fought pretty realistically. Especially for the age of the game, like back then, that was insane. I mean, I don't think they ever will, Gabe. It's a completely different company, so it's not like they can just add a Great One to a game that isn't related to EW. I feel like they would get into some legal trouble doing that. I could definitely see them eventually adding in non-typicals, though. Maybe Deer Killer. I don't think so, though. I've got a few other viewers that are 50s and 60s. I know for a fact Willows is. Willows drops by every once in a while. Yeah, definitely Osgard. It was pretty fun. No clue, Drunken Confu. That's been a thing ever since the beginning of the game. I don't think it was like a post-update thing. I think certain species are just doing it more than others. For me, it's happened with Chamois a lot, ever since the game released. I didn't even check what lure this is. Crankbait, okay, definitely not what I wanted. Alright, let's try to get some of these bass to bite, because the lake trout definitely don't want to. I think for lake trout, I'm just going to stick to the swim baits. There we go. That was so weird, it wouldn't let me strike. Wait, is that a pike? It is. That's not even the bass we saw. This is a pike. We got a pike on. There we go. Bighorn, mule, and whitetail. Gotcha. Yeah, it's an issue that's been there since the beginning, and some days it happens more than others, so it's kind of strange. Not exactly sure what causes it. Alright, well, we've got, like, a little less than an hour. We've got about 40 minutes left for angler. So I think that we're going to try and find some other locations to fish. Maybe some ones that we have not fished a ton. I mean, I really liked this river right here. That was a fun river to fish in, but I kind of want to go a place we've never gone. I haven't done a lot of fishing over here. Maybe we could head over to this river. That might be kind of fun. Probably drop a marker down here. There we go. I've fished a few of the lakes in this area, but I've not gone to the river. Also, this is a pretty good view of a lot of the map. We can see quite a few locations from here. Nice, Gabe, that's awesome to hear, dude. Yeah, I started in games like Call of Duty, Counter-Strike, stuff like that, and then eventually I ended up primarily moving over to hunting games, and then eventually started doing YouTube for them. We might as well cast a line in this little lake right here. On our way down, or, well, I guess it's a pond. But we might as well cast here real quickly, see what we can catch, and then move over to the river where we were heading. Let's just crank it in quickly, and then slow it down when we get to about 20. Nothing yet, Jake. We saw a pike that's probably a diamond, but couldn't get it to bite. So we're gonna have to catch him a different day. Oh, definitely, Gabe. They have mentioned that there's gonna be a free weapon pack coming eventually in Way of the Hunter, so that's gonna be really awesome. Cannot wait to see what types of weapons are gonna be in it. There we go. That's a trout, I think. It's either a trout or a whitefish. Oh, it's a bass. Really? That did not look like a bass at first. Oh, it is. What the? Okay, that was weird. That looked like a bass in the water. Like, it looked like a trout. Then it got closer and it looked like a bass. And then it's a trout. Interesting. Talk about iBuy Boomstick. I've talked to him quite a bit. We use very similar grinding methods for Great One grinds. Nice job identifying it. I know, right? I saw it. I done saw it and I was like, that's a trout. Then I done saw it again and I'm like, that's a largemouth. I done saw it for a third time. Trout. What do you know? Always trust your instincts. They should add bows in where the hunter and stands. I bet they will add bows eventually. Ooh, that looks... Oh, man, that looks like a cool river. Yeah, I'm excited to fish this river. This looks cool. Gosh, this kind of reminds me of Eastern Oregon, not gonna lie. This kind of reminds me of Eastern Oregon. This gives me, like, Eastern Oregon vibes. There is no fall damage, no. If you fall too far, it just respawns you. How am I liking the game? I like it, but it needs a lot of work. I guess that's the best way to sum it up quickly. Like, I enjoy playing the game. But then again, I don't necessarily look for the most realistic game every time I play a new game. I kind of judge it just based off of my enjoyment, and I've been having fun with the game. It needs a lot of work in primarily like the fish animation and behavior department, but I've had fun regardless. It does give quite a different experience from the other fishing games out. Especially with the giant open world. Ooh, there's a dead tree we need to report. Oh, we completed it. Nice. That was the last one. Well, hello there, little bass. I think that was a bass. Do I have the popper on my third rod? I do. Okay, let's chuck the popper in there real quick. Is it not interested? It's not interested. Okay, maybe this isn't a bass like I thought it was. Let's chuck on size 5 spinner. I couldn't really tell what fish it was when it rose out of the water. But it looked like it was either a trout or a bass. I thought bass at first, but we know how my judgment is. How much will the game be? $29.99 on launch. There we go. Question though is this the one that we saw or is this a different one? This is definitely the one we saw. Is that a catfish? Oh, I swear if we just caught a catfish. That looked like a white belly. What is it? Okay, it is a rainbow. That was so weird, man. These rainbow trout in the right lighting look like everything but themselves. But that is a rainbow trout there. Like when it jumped, I saw the white belly and the back kind of looked like a dark brown or black. I thought for sure that was a catfish. But no, another rainbow. Yes, there is topwater baits. There's poppers, there is some stick baits, and there's also some frogs as well. The poppers are quite a lot of fun to use. Looks like another small to mid-sized trout. Watch this one not be a trout because I said it's a trout. It's not a trout, it's a kokanee. That timing though. That timing though. That is hilarious. Oh man. The one fish where I'm like, yeah, it's a rainbow trout, but watch it not be. Of course it wouldn't be. That's awesome, though. I've been wanting to find a place to consistently catch kokanee. Hopefully this will be the one. Also, I just wanted to point out, I'm almost positive this is not really a kokanee. Pretty sure this is a sockeye. Let me look it up, but I'm pretty sure kokanee are a landlocked Atlantic salmon. Let me look it up. I'm pretty sure they're a landlocked... Or maybe they are a landlocked sockeye. Yeah, it's a landlocked sockeye. Okay, so... that makes a little more sense, I guess. However, typically the landlocked ones, they'd be like a little more silver. I mean, typically when they start spawning, they'd look like this, but... yeah, so sockeye and kokanee are the same thing, but kokanee are like the landlocked version that doesn't go into the ocean. That's cool, though. We got our first gold kokanee. I feel like, though, if they're going to call them kokanee, they need to be the silver non-spawning version. Because, sockeyes, the ones that go out to ocean, they typically get bigger than that, so if they're gonna call them kokanee, they should at least look like the kokanee most people would be catching, which are the beautiful, bright silver, pre-spawning ones. Typically, they just look like that whenever they're about to spawn. I kind of would have preferred that they called them sockeye if they're going to look like sockeye. Let's see, did I... okay, this is the right one. I have no idea, Osgard. I think they're all landlocked. I don't think there's any rivers that come in or out. Yeah, there isn't, so... those would be landlocked, so they definitely shouldn't look like that. Because typically with sockeyes, they would be out, they'd be in the ocean, and they'd come back into the rivers to spawn. Yeah, Sunray, that's kind of what I'm going off of as well. Like, I live in Oregon, so all my experiences with kokanee are, like, super, chrome bright, and are typically just a few pounds. And so I think they kind of got a mix here, like, they went with sockeye. They went with the look of the sea run sockeyes, and went with the size of the landlocked kokanee. It depends, Gabe. If you want a more like fast-paced, little more arcadey experience for a hunting game, then The Hunter Call of the Wild is pretty fun. It's a lot more about like hunting for diamonds and rares and great ones than it is just hunting in general. You're more trophy chasing in Call of the Wild. So if you enjoy that type of experience, then it's definitely worth getting. I like it because it's action-packed. Call of the Wild has tons of action. Pretty much always something to take down. Maybe, Johnny. Maybe. Oh yeah, I've heard great things about Lake Billy Chinook for the kokanee for sure. Heard lots about that place. Never fished there myself, though. Not sure, Lang. They have not talked too much about trophy lodges. I believe they've said they're open to the possibility of them, but they don't have them planned as of now. Redux, thank you for the 18 months, dude. Really appreciate it. Thank you so much. Hope you've been doing good, Redux. Let's move up the river a little bit. Seems like we kind of got the only fish that were in this spot. Seems like they're not as plentiful here. There's a fish hitting the surface. Might be a good place to try and get one. Couple of them hitting the surface, actually. Can you cast from the bridge? Not that one. The rails are a little too high, but there is a lot of bridges you can cast off of, which is cool. That one in particular is probably not going to be able to be cast off of, though. Size 5 spinner. Maybe we need to go with an even lighter setup. I mean, that's the lightest I've got right now is that size 5 spinner, so... we could try the spinnerbait. Trout will go for spinnerbaits in game and, I mean, in real life sometimes as well, but not as often. But this one's small enough that maybe we can get a reaction out of some of these fish that don't want a bigger lure. It's just for the spinning reels, statues. The bait casters are working fine when it comes to reel speed. I feel like the spinning reels are bugged. Because the bait casting reels, they seem to reel at the proper speed. Question is, do we have another sockeye here, or is it going to be another rainbow? Or maybe something completely different. It is something different, a whitefish. So we got mountain whitefish, we got rainbow trout, and we've got kokanee here. Got a very interesting mix of fish in this little river section here. I like it though, it's a little different from the rest of the map from what I've seen. There's a fish right there. Hey, little dude. That was a sockeye right there. Or I guess they call them kokanee, but you know, looks like a sockeye. Ooh, there's a rainbow. We got a rainbow going for it. This is, I believe, my second lightest, maybe even lightest setup, so good thing it's not a giant. Yeah, just a little guy, 3 pounds. Get back to this setup and try to get that kokanee. Yeah, the whitefish does look pretty good. I think most of the fish models in the game look good. But the animations for the fish could definitely use a little bit of cleaning up. And the behaviors. Well, let's actually cast out there. There's like 3 of them right there. Cast out right here and then let it sink a bit. And then start reeling in. Come on. Can we get one of them to bite? Yeah, Braden, I enjoy it. It's a fun game, but definitely needs a little bit of tweaking in certain areas. But it overall is pretty fun. Jake, thank you so much for becoming a member, dude. Really appreciate it. Enjoy the green name and chat, special badge icon, all the awesome emotes, ability to use commands, access to private Discord channels once you link Discord to YouTube, and access to my scrap content on the channel. Really appreciate it, man. Yeah, this is definitely a kokanee. Another nice gold one. Well, at least we found a place to consistently get the kokanee. That's pretty nice. Now, I saw at least 3. Should still be 2 more. We've been using a 5 size spinner. Letting it sink down to about 7 meters and reeling in on speed 1 with 45% drag. I don't even know anymore, Boomstick. I haven't hunted Virhonga too much since the changes they made. So it's not really something I can give too much advice on. I think part of it's just scaling, Osgard. I can cast up to like 35 meters in the game. But you know, that's a pretty good sized cast. We just saw one a little bit further up the river, so we might have to cast up there if we want to catch one, because looks like we might not be getting any action on this cast. Oh, that's the water temperature, I believe, Bill. Maybe not, though. I'll have to look at it again. Yeah, I think it's just like the scaling, Osgard. I think the, I guess the perception of it is a little bit off. It doesn't look as far as it actually is. There's a fish right there. Hey, little dude. Let's chuck this out there, see if we can get his attention. Yep, there he goes. That looks like a big one. That looks like a good one there. Wow, 4.31 pounds. Is that our biggest gold kokanee yet? I think it is. I think that's our biggest one. Not bad. Now there was at least one more. And I think it was right over here. Yep, Johnny, there it goes. The old intro song is here to give us the luck. Kokanee just hit the surface. Must be water temperature? Yeah, probably is. I think that's what they said it was, if I'm not mistaken. She's doing good, Redux. She's doing good. Little 3-pound kokanee. It feels so nice to finally be able to catch these things, though. I've had such a hard time trying to figure out where they are, and now we're finding lots of them. There we go. Yeah, getting tons of them. Is that a rainbow? I think it's a rainbow. Yeah, that one was a rainbow. A tiny rainbow at that. Wow. Yeah, 9-1. It is. There's a fish right there. Check this out right here. Reel it up along the rock. Maybe he's not interested. There's a fish, though. Couple of them, actually. I see 3. Yeah, big one's coming for it. There we go. That's the biggest one yet, I think. One of them, at least. 3.64. Yeah, that's a good one. Good little kokanee. I actually don't know if the respawns are like Call of the Wild. I don't think they really talk too much about it. I would imagine they're probably similar. Got a fish right there. He's kind of deep. Wow, you can actually see there is quite a bit of vegetation down there in the water. This is really the first time I've been able to see it super good at any of the locations. Quite a bit of different weeds down there. Got some surface action right there. Let's do a little bit of sight fishing. Let's just kind of walk along the river and we'll see if maybe we can spot a good fish like that. That looks like a rainbow, though, so it's probably not huge. There we go. It's pretty fun, Taz. It needs some work in places, but it's very enjoyable. Just as kind of like a not super difficult fishing game. I get those 2.0x plus fishes. I know, right? Gotta go full arc mode. Look for the 2.0s. There we go. That looks like another rainbow. That actually looks like a decent one. Maybe not as decent as I thought, though. Yeah, he's not as big as I thought. Little 6-pounder. What are you taming with all these fish? Shadow mains. Gotta get those shadow mains, man. What other games do I stream? I stream Way of the Hunter. I stream The Hunter Called Wild. Occasionally I'll stream some other games like Generation Zero, Escape from Tarkov. Depends on the time period. But Way of the Hunter, Call the Wild, The Hunter Call the Wild, those are the games that we stream very often. Come on, little dude. See one going for it, I think. Maybe. Actually, these two are being kind of picky. These two fish are being much more picky. Is that a big whitefish? Wait a minute. That might be a giant whitefish, actually. That looked like a huge whitefish. 970 should be able to play it. Maybe not on the max settings, but it should still be able to run it. Oh. Wow, that's a big whitefish. That thing looks cool, man. I like the mountain whitefish a lot. Probably one of my favorite fish models. Whenever I can get the time for it, Redux. Nowadays, I'm pretty swamped with YouTube, so I don't get too much chances to do stuff that isn't YouTube related. Wow, we can wade out pretty far. Sadly, no, Mr. Lazy, we couldn't get him. He's still out there somewhere, though. We'll find him eventually. Maybe one of these future streams will end up running into him again. There we go. Ooh, that's a... Ooh, nice! That's a big kokanee. Oh, yes! Yes, let's go! Diamond kokanee! Oh my gosh, diamond kokanee, guys! Yes! We did it! Diamond kokanee! 4.68 pound diamond. That is awesome. That is so cool, man. This was one of my most wanted diamonds. This and the lake trout. That is amazing. That is so awesome. Get some screenshots of that bad boy. That is so cool. What an awesome place to catch it as well. This is definitely one of the rivers that reminds me of Eastern Oregon the most. Like, this area really reminds me of some of the rivers in Eastern Oregon. First diamond of the day, and it's a kokanee. That is so cool. Rainbow trout right there. See if we can just snag this guy real quickly. And then we'll hop over to Way of the Hunter. We've almost had 3 hours of this, so it's almost time that we jump over to Way of the Hunter. And a bronze. Little 5-pounder. Maybe Moritz. I'm actually not sure what I'm gonna hunt in Way of the Hunter. Nice, Brighton. That's perfect timing then. Joined at the perfect time. Yeah, I think it's about time we switch over to Way of the Hunter. We will fish one more spot here. See if we can spot a big fish. And if we do, we'll cast out and try to catch it. And that's too deep to cross. Unfortunate. We've already done some chamois hunting. I want to do something that we have not done much of. I kind of want to go back and try to get a nice bighorn, as we did have some bighorn that we were watching. And I'd like to see if they've grown. Okay, so this is where it starts getting much larger. And it shows that we can get a vehicle over here, so I will bet that we've probably got an outpost near. Oh. Okay, bad idea. I bet fish could be here if it's that deep. I bet you could totally get a fish there. Oh, that's a good point, Drew Boy. We have not gone for moose yet. I wonder what type of moose we have on our map. I've got enough money to just outright buy the pass, which I might do instead of doing the landowner missions.
Hey, Buckaroo, down on the range if you need me.
Let's head over to this right here. I've heard that you can actually take the moose with the 7mm Mod 8, so if you have that, then that might be an option to go for moose until you get one of the bigger rifles. I've heard that it still does pretty well on them. Yeah, this location reminds me of Eastern Oregon and Utah so much. Like, my gosh, that's crazy. Such a cool part of the map. Probably my favorite location so far. Thank you, Emerson. I appreciate it. Oh, gotcha, Brighton. Gotcha. Oh, we do have a dock there. Let's go. I bet this is a fast travel location. In fact, I see... Is that an outpost? I can't tell. That might just be the vehicle station. I would be very surprised if we're not able to fast travel here, though. Because this looks like the type of area we could. Yeah, there we go. Fast travel location unlocked. That is awesome. That's going to make it easier to get to that really cool river spot. I'm from Oregon, Lil Bear, but I've been to Utah a few times because that's where my wife is from. So, I've been to Utah a decent bit, and it gives me, like, Eastern Oregon, Utah vibes. And maybe parts of Idaho. Redux, thank you so much for the super chat, dude. Really appreciate it. Diamond, yeah. Super chat for that diamond kokanee, I'm assuming. I'm so happy we got that thing. That was so awesome. Alright, let's move over to Way of the Hunter. Yeah, it's funny how he always gets confused with Clayton instead of Kill Clinton. Like, Kill Clayton instead. Always hilarious. Poor Casey. I swear, him and Flinter have, like, the most auto-correctable names in the world. Autocorrect always gets them. Always gets them, man. Oh, and also, guys, I did raise the difficulty. I play on Hunter difficulty now, because apparently Adventurer was bugged. I've been hearing a lot of reports of Adventurer being bugged and making it easier to spook animals than what was intended, and apparently it's even more difficult than the top 2 difficulties. I find it kind of funny, too, because I had a few people that were like, oh, you can't complain that 5 stars is too easy when you're only playing on Adventurer, when in reality, Adventurer was bugged and making it more difficult than the other difficulties in the game. I just find that kind of funny. Ooh, what's up with that frame rate? Hold on. What's happening there? That's not normal. Ooh, I think my OBS being broken is actually causing some major issues here. Hold on, let me open up my task manager and see what's eating up performance. Yeah, OBS is using up. Oh gosh, OBS is at 36% CPU. That is not normal. OBS is at like 36% CPU usage. Oh gosh, I'm so glad I'm getting a new PC, because mine is starting to really show the age. My CPU is definitely at the end of its life. I might have to restart the stream since Streamlabs is bugged, because there's no way I can play Way of the Hunter with 40 FPS. Alright, guys. I'm going to restart the stream to get rid of this weird bugginess, because it still says I'm recording even though I ended the